His team just advanced to the
Easy.
EuroLeague Final Four. We'll be taking on a former King, Chima Monecki, in that game.
Ooh.
Anyway, Mike Brown was interviewed by one of the reporters out there, and he was asked about Sasha. And here's what he had to say.
Vezenkov, what's your thoughts about him, and what do you see from him so far?
Well, obviously, the way that they're guarding him, it makes it tough. You know, but when you guard somebody like that, you like that person on the floor because it creates a lot of space for everybody else. The way we play, he fits in really good. He shoots the three ball. He's got size. He's got toughness. He rebounds. And all those things are excited with the way that we play the game of basketball. So, like I said, we'll see how we'll let him finish out his season, and then we'll make decisions from there.
So, to make the headline, are you going to make an offer to him, a good offer, in order to persuade him and sign him for the next season?
Well, we'll let him finish his season out, and then we'll talk to him. But we've obviously been highly intrigued with him. We made a trade to get his rights last year. This is the fourth or fifth time somebody from our organization has come over. Myself, our CEO, Martina, is here too. Our international scout is here, Christos. And so for us, the interest is at a high level, but we'll let him finish his season, and then he'll make decisions as well as us when it's time.
So there's Mike Brown talking about Sasha.
Hell yeah. Vezenkov.
Hey, can I just call him Sasha? I don't have to say his full name every time.
It's helping me. I kind of
No,
like it.
I feel like it's a shot at me a little bit, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, it's at first when I couldn't say Wembanyama, remember it was
Yeah.
like you forced me to keep saying it. So then finally now I can say Wembanyama.
But the difference is it's kind of late right now.
No, stop. No excuses. Please don't. By the way,
Yeah.
I love the shit out of that. I love that he was talking. I love like how excited he sounded about Sasha, and what he could do by opening up the floor, just having another shooter out there. It's important. This league, it's all about the shooting.
Yeah, I saw Sasha was asked by a reporter about Mike Brown being at the game, and he had some quote about joking that they have literally sent everyone but the mayor of Sacramento to come see him in person. So he's clearly feeling the interest from the Sacramento Kings, but he's got some things to think about too. I mean, I think it goes to some of the same conversations we had about him last year. Is like, he is a EuroLeague MVP candidate right now.
Yeah.
He's playing 28 minutes a night, which that may not seem like a lot, but their games aren't as long, right? I believe they play 10-minute quarters, so 40-minute games compared to 48 in the NBA. He's got a big role, right? He's an important piece. You come to the NBA, and yeah, you're going to be a part of a team, but it's clear who the guys are on that team.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fox and Sabonis. Who's the number 3? Could change next year. I mean, I think sometimes the number 3 this season just depended on the night. Some stretches it was Kevin Herter. Some it was Keegan. It was Malik. It was Harrison Barnes. But I have zero doubt he would play well with Sacramento. You see how he shoots? The quick release. He's got good size.
Quick release, high release. I mean, as soon as he gets that ball in his hands,
Yeah.
it's boom. It's not even a second that he's really even taking the ball down. It's not a lot of space he needs. Yeah, his size.
His off-ball movement, you see his ability to cut and move without the ball. I'm like, okay, I could see a little connection with Sabonis. That'd be nice. As far as his role, is he a starter? These are things he's probably going to think about.
Sure.
Am I coming over with a chance at a starting job?
Right.
It's a big move.
No, it's a huge move, and at least the Kings now have given him more of a reason with everything that they did achieve this season as a team.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, all of these awards that are coming out, I'm sure he's seen that, and it's like, oh, great, I could play with this team. Well, when we talked to Brad Miller, and he had the opportunity to go to Sacramento, it was Sacramento or one other place, and he was like, let's go to Sacramento. I love the way that those guys play. I want to play in that system and be a part of that. And he said the first day that he walked in there and he just heard them breaking down basketball and talking about the philosophy of how they play and everything, he was just like drawn and into it. And I just feel like for real hoopers, like Mike Brown understands what these hoopers want and can create a space to make you enjoy and love the game and still empower you to play your game in a certain role.
I feel like there's no doubt it's easier to sell him on Sacramento this time compared to last year at this time.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, they had a great year. You just mentioned all the awards, their style of play. He would fit. And the team he plays on, look, I'm not going to act like I watch all their games. I watched their last game when they were their last playoff game, Game 5, when they clinched to advance to the Final Four. Like, oh, they move the ball around. And I know that's typical of EuroLeague. It's less about individuals. You don't have a lot of ISO ball. It's a lot of ball movement, off-ball movement. But, yeah, I feel like he'd be a good fit here. And then you start figuring out, all right, where does he fit in? I think there's so many things you have to consider. Is HB back? What's his role? Okay, Trey Lyles. Are you able to re-sign him? He's coming off your bench.
Yep.
Is Sasha starting next to Keegan? What does that do defensively for the Sacramento Kings?
God.
Does that make life more challenging? I think in some cases it could, depending on the matchup. But from a shooting perspective, having another guy who could space the floor,
Daggers.
yeah. I mean,
In
what
the
that can
corner,
do
on the
for
wing.
Fox and Sabonis,
Absolutely.
we already saw what it did for the offense this year, the number one offensive rating in league history. What does that look like if you add another guy who's got size who could shoot it?
I love it. I mean, obviously I love it, but also
I also don't have these expectations of like, oh, he's coming here and going to change everything. Like, to me, it would be a nice pickup, a guy who you could plug in and he could be an impactful player for you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's coming over here to be an all-star and the savior.
And anyone, well, exactly, because anyone that wants to argue like, well, what are you going to do defensively? And you can challenge that comment back with, or that question back with, well, every player isn't going to be perfect. You know, I think that's something that that's the first thing we always look at when a team acquires a player, trades for a player, whatever, is, yeah, but they can't do this or they can't do this. But it's like, yeah, but what player can really do it all? And there's not many that can. And the ones that can are obviously making the big bucks, and you got to find a different way to develop those players and or get those players over here.